Hi, 7th grade science. Today we are going to be taking a look at this mystery mineral, and we're going to try to learn what it is based off of its properties. So here we have a few test materials that we can test some of those properties, and a new property that we have learned today is the property of reacting with an acid. And so these two are the same mineral, so I will be using multiple samples in order to show that. And then in this tray I also have an example of calcite, which we looked at and identified last week. So the first thing I would do is observe it, and I notice that this is has a slightly pink hue. It's not just white, but there's some pink to it. It does give some shine, so it does have luster. I wouldn't necessarily say its luster is brilliant. I'd say dull to glassy. Definitely not as glassy as the calcite was that we looked at last week. Another test that we could take a look at is the streak. So if I take this along my ceramic plate, notice that what's left is very white. It does not give much streak at all. Not much visible on there at all. My next test would be comparing it to the hardness of glass. And so I'm going to look for a spot on my glass plate that doesn't have many scratches along it. I'm going to drag this across, and as you notice there, it did scratch the glass. So this mineral, whatever it is harder than glass. So I wouldn't even have to test the copper, but I will just to show you. I wouldn't have to test it because copper is softer than the glass. So if I know that the mineral is harder than the glass, it also has to be harder than the copper. But if we scratch it against the copper, it very easily scratches the copper. So it is harder than copper, harder than glass. It leaves a white or almost clear streak. It's shiny, but not too shiny. This one piece that we're taking a look at is not transparent enough. It's pretty opaque, so we can't really check the refraction. If we had a clearer sample, we could check the refraction, and some of these might have a double refraction where we see two images on the inside. But we can compare this to calcite and how it reacts to acid. So we're going to very carefully, while wearing our goggles, drop a drop of acid on our sample. And if we look very carefully, we see that nothing happens. That's right, this sample does not react with calcite, or does not react with acid. If I do drop a drop of acid on the calcite, you'll notice immediately it starts to bubble. And so it creates bubbles and fizzes, and it has a very strong reaction to the hydrochloric acid. So that is what we did in our lab today, and I wish you all a great day. Bye.